This is Betrayal in Blue, Cops Who've Crossed the Line, number 11. I'm Ken Eurell, if you don't know who I am or you're just tuning in for the first time. I haven't done an episode in a while. There's more than enough going on in my life. I just have not been motivated. Most of you know my wife passed away, who appeared in the documentary The 7-5 with me. I've had another death in the family since then. I'm going to get into it. Those of you who follow me on social media know who it is. I'm asking you to please like, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, make comments. All that is helpful in getting us noticed on YouTube. Share it on your social media if you can. Really appreciate that. Going to get into the first story. First story is about a police officer in Tennessee. This happened in 2018. He has since been sentenced to this. I know in previous stories I put up, I haven't had the conclusion of the court cases for many of the people. Either I wasn't able to find it or there was no sentencing yet. This one I do have a sentencing on. So let's get into it. This is all about Officer Marco Burke. He is from Tennessee, like I said. Originally, he was suspected of stealing an AR-15 from a police locker at the station. Officials suspected he stole it. They questioned him about it. He denied it, of course. Gun was never recovered. They don't know what happened to it. He denied it, and he was never charged in that case. But of course, this opened up internal affairs investigations into Officer Marco Burke. And they set up a sting on him. What happened is they get an undercover car, make it look like it was involved in an accident. They have dispatch give the call to Officer Marco Burke and say there was a vehicle involved in an accident and driver fled the scene. So when he gets there, he'll investigate the case and look at the car, run the VIN, all that stuff. So he gets to the scene, and now Internal Affairs is watching, of course, from a distance, and they've planted things in the car. They've planted 2 pill bottles that look like Oxycontin. Of course, they don't leave, it's not real drugs in the car. They replaced the original Oxycontin with sugar pills, and they put in $1,100 in cash. And the reason they replaced the real drugs with sugar pills is just in case in between the call and Officer Burke getting there, a civilian comes across the car and then would steal real drugs. There'd be all types of repercussions on that. So they replace it with sugar pills. But of course, he doesn't know that because the pill bottle is marked Oxycontin. So he goes through the car, spends some time going through the car, pockets the first pill bottle he finds, pockets the $1,100 in cash, comes across the second pill bottle, takes that, gets out of the car, reports back to dispatch. Driver has fled the scene, like they said, and there is nothing further to report. He goes through the paperwork, makes a report. I'm assuming he vouched the car. It doesn't say whether he vouched it or not, but it does say that he never reported the pill bottles he found or the $1,100 in cash. So IED now further investigates. A couple of hours later, they find the pill bottles they planted and the $1,100 in cash. And of course, all the serial numbers are recorded on that in the police parking lot next to Burke's private vehicle. It's not in the original vehicle that they set up as the undercover sting. It's not turned into the precinct. It's not recorded on the reports that he does. It's not reported back to dispatch. So now, to make matters worse, Internal Affairs grabs him up and they investigate him. Not only do they have him from the personal viewing of him from a distance, internal affairs, and recovering the cash and the pills. They also have him, surprise, surprise, he had his body cam on. So they actually have him grabbing the cash, grabbing the pills. I'll put up some pictures for you. So they go through it, they arrest him, and now from jail, he calls his wife at home. Calling his wife, of course, everything from jail phones are recorded. As a police officer, he should know that. He admits it to his wife over the phone. I thought I wrote it down. I did not write down exactly what he said, but basically he admitted to, they got me grabbing up cash and stuff in the car. I can't believe this happened to me. And it's all recorded from the jail phone to his wife. He goes through the whole court process. Initially, he gets hit with a 7-year prison sentence. This is the sentence, it wasn't the offer. He was sentenced to 7 years. Something happens after the sentence and they knock that down to probation. So I don't know if he, after the sentencing, he agreed to cooperate. It doesn't say. I'm not privy to that. It's hard to believe the sentence was knocked down after the sentence. And usually it's before you sentence, you will agree to some sort of cooperation, and you don't get sentenced to the 7 years, you get sentenced to, a lesser term, probation or whatever it is. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. He got hit with 7 years and it got knocked down to probation. So of course he was fired and he's off the job, and that's it. And AR-15 still was never recovered. So they must have performed a search warrant on his house. So who knows what he did with it by then. What is some merch too? That's a 7.5 coffee mug. Links will be in the description below the video. Shirts, coffee mugs, whatever. Links to the video, the 7.5 video, and also my book, Betrayal in Blue, will also be in the links. Okay, next story is, you all know that my wife passed away, a cast member of the 7.5 documentary. Well, there was another cast member of the 7.5 documentary that passed away recently. It was a month prior to my wife. My wife passed away in February. This cast member passed away in January of 2021. This person is the internal affairs officer from the NYPD. His name was Joseph Trimboli. I'm sure you guys remember him from the documentary and my book. He is the officer who investigated us for a number of years, and higher ups shut him down and told him not to investigate. They tried to flip a case on him, saying he was importing drugs from wherever, Colombia, I think they said. They tried to blame, he had a Rolex watch. They wanted to know why he had a Rolex watch. It turned out it was a fake Rolex. So they tried to shut him down. And the investigation was basically shut down. He chased us down on his own time. He talks about that in the documentary. So he passed away in January. He was only 69 years old, young. Don't know the cause of his death. Sure, many of you, don't care because he was an internal affairs officer. Let me tell you, this is the guy in the documentary and on the department that was doing the right thing. My partner and I did the wrong thing for many years, and we were fortunate never to be caught in the act while on the job. At least I wasn't on the job. I had retired, and we got caught from the outside agency, Suffolk County Police Department, dealing drugs 6 years after we hooked up, 7 years after we hooked up. So Trimboli did the right thing. He was, doing his job. He was an internal affairs officer. That was his job, to track down corrupt cops. So anybody who's, mad at him for the being internal affairs, and everyone calls him, the rat, and much like they did to me later on, because I ended up cooperating. He was doing his job. He was a cop. He didn't do nothing wrong. Sad to hear of his passing. Yes. And that's it. I figured I'd report that to you guys. So another cast member has passed away. We're all getting up there in age. It'll probably be more soon. Hopefully not for a while, at least another 20 years for me. Let's go briefly into Q&As. There was a question about people want to know what I drink out of the mug here. It's not vodka, it's not booze, it's not even coffee. It's just water to clear my throat from speaking. So that's that. No nefarious drinking. I'm not a big drinker anymore like I was years ago. If I have 1 or 2 beers a month, that's a lot. Okay, the other Q&A was in, I believe it was episode 9. I spoke about a robbery my partner and I did that went wrong. And there were 3 other officers involved with it and a civilian who helped us do this robbery. The question was, did the cops from the robbery I discussed ever get arrested? No, they were not arrested. We never talked about it, never gave them up. That's why when I talk about it in the book and I talk about it here on the podcast, I name them as Officer A, Officer B, former officers at the time. The other officer was an active officer from a Queens precinct, never named them, and never named the civilian. So they were not part of any arrests. They never got arrested. Nothing went down with them. And that's that. So it's a brief video. I just wanted to get back into it. Like I said, I wasn't really motivated for a while to do any videos. Hopefully I get back into it on a regular basis. Please like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Everyone keeps telling me, tell people to hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. And comment on it, share it on your social media. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video.